Hey everyone, I'm here to go over Meevo versus Boulevard and help you figure out which one is going to fit your needs and of course your budget. So I'm going to start with one of the key features that both of these have that a lot of their competitors lack, and that is the front desk. So you can see right here, Boulevard's front desk is designed for easy management. I absolutely love the layout here. We have unconfirmed appointments, people who haven't checked in, haven't responded. We don't know if they're coming. We have confirmed, we have people who have already arrived and checked in, people who have completed their appointment for the day. This can be modified. You can choose your staff member. I only want to see what Diane has done, or I only want to see what Juliana has done. And then I can just click on them only, and it'll show me that Juliana has 2 unconfirmed. Diane only. She's not working today. All staff comes up right here. I can also choose different days of the week. If I want to see what's going on the 7th, obviously we're not on that date yet according to this calendar, which means everyone is unconfirmed. If I want to look back on last week, let's say Friday, everyone was completed on Friday. Even though there were some unconfirmed at the start of the day, everyone's right here. This allows me to easily manage everything. I have the phone should someone call, and I can field their appointment requests or their information. I can manage the location with things like our membership plans and the order in which each of our services are given. I can manage marketing, look at my reports, and all of these other things. So let's hop on over to Meevo. Now what Meevo has is a front desk that you can see right here. Now this front desk feature looks a little gamified. It's very similar to the tile layout you would get with Windows 11. So you would have these and you click on them and they flip over and then you can access any of these. So in my mind, this just has more of a gamified aspect to it, and it personally reeks of an unprofessional environment. Now that's just me. Some people prefer this because maybe they're very busy or they only want to be able to look at an icon and click on that or see, whoop, quick ratings this week. And the things that you see here can be changed based on personal preference, but you can see that there's a time clock right here. There's the percentage booked for the day. There is the wait list for today, the appointment book. But all of this just kind of draws your attention to data that I don't think is relevant for a front desk. If I have someone working the front desk, or if I'm working and I need to go see what's going on, I don't necessarily need to know very quickly how many people we have on our wait list for today. That might be important, but I'm probably just checking to see if my clients have checked in or if there's anyone else who's free, especially if I'm fielding something for a last minute appointment. And that is why I really like the front desk feature here. Now, all other things the same, let's pop on over to things like marketing. So with Boulevard, you do have a lot of marketing options. You can choose text or email campaigns. Obviously, these are based on whether you want to send them out to everyone on your list or you want to select different groups. I love the automated options that they have. You can see here they have features where you can enable clients to schedule their next appointment. So that reminds someone afterward to schedule their next appointment. You can fill last minute openings. You can rescue lost clients. You can send birthday messages. And if you have a slow day, you can send out an email or a text. And this one is based on the percentage of a staff member's schedule. So you can choose one staff member, all your staff members. You can choose what level of availability might need to be filled. So I'm going to pop back over here to Meevo and check on their marketing platform. So a lot of their features in the marketing suite are generally the same. In terms of client management and email, we have some of the same things here. The ability to look at reports, to keep memberships, manage their personal preferences. I'm going to quickly swing back over to Boulevard here so you can see that under clients you have very similar things. And anytime you click on somebody's name, it's going to pull up this entire incredibly comprehensive client profile, which I think really facilitates a much better service every time it's rendered to these clients, because it does not matter if I have worked with Nayeli before. I can bring up her information. I can see what's going on. I can see when she last visited. I can look at any medications or allergies. I can also set an alert. So back over to Meevo. They have very similar marketing options. You can see here the email performance analytics, the automated email campaigns, segmented customer lists, and templates. So these are very similar. One of the things that Meevo has that stands out is their reputation management and their e-learning. So the reputation management is a very great function and feature if you want to be the salon or spa owner who is also trying to manage your reputation online. Now, this for me is something that you might need if you wanted to handle all of your marketing yourself, or if you had an employee whose job was managing marketing through the same booking platform that you use for the rest of your business. Now, the way for me that this stands out is right here, being able to track and respond to customer reviews. So instead of being notified through any other area or any other tool that someone has left you a review, you would have it all in one place. You would have Facebook reviews, you would have TripAdvisor reviews if that's where you were posting, you would have Yelp reviews or Google Maps, Google Business, whatever you are connected to, you could get a notification when you have reviews. You could see how many, Google My Business reviews you have, how many Yelp reviews you have, how many TripAdvisor or Facebook reviews you have, and what your average is across all of those platforms. And this single dashboard does provide you a chance to generate individual responses. Now, of course, if you are a busy spa owner, you might not have time to really dive into this, but in that event, you can use the built-in AI that generates responses on your behalf. I would personally triple check those just to make sure they still sound like they're coming from a person. So, client management, as I mentioned. So I'm going to client management, as I mentioned. Look at Savannah. So Savannah has an appointment with Rosalind. So Savannah has an appointment with Rosalind. All of this information. You can see whether Savannah is part of your loyalty program. If you have photos, you can add photos here. Now that's something that I've used a lot, is being able to take a picture before and after, and that gives clients the chance to keep track, because they probably don't do it themselves. When they might go home and take an after picture, but then they forget what they looked like before. And that not only helps you keep track of the notes, if you used certain products, if you used a different number this time, or a different coloring agent, different brand because Wella got too expensive, then you could look at the gallery, you could see what other things they had here. If you're doing nails, you can take pictures of the finished product. So if they say, hey, this nail broke, can you do the same design that you did last time? Well, maybe that was an artistic flower and you don't remember what it was, but you can pop back over to the gallery. Forms and charts. Any forms and charts that she needs to fill out would be saved here. Any products she has purchased, any packages, memberships, payment methods get stored here, history of appointments that she's had, and of course, messages. Any accommodations that you have to make, and then the general overview you have to make. So I'm going to pop right back over here to forms and charts really quickly, because you can create different forms and charts with Boulevard. Now, with Meevo, you can do the same thing. They do have a lot of forms and charts, but one of the differences is that Boulevard Duo is an app that runs on an iPad, and with that app, you can let customers check in and then complete digital forms in the moment. So Savannah doesn't have any forms here in the moment. So Savannah doesn't have any forms here. Now, if Savannah were to book a new appointment, like a massage, and we needed her to fill out some health forms, she could do that when she checked in on the company iPad. Now, that's important because one of the features that Meevo brags about is their ability to manage clients with things like contactless check-in. They actually call it the chair-side check-in, and the chair-side check-in basically just means you bring your own tablet or phone to the chair right when someone is finishing up their appointment, as you can see here, and they can choose to, maybe they want to buy a toner, so they add that product to their list so that when you check them out, you don't have to add it later. And maybe you are urging them to book their next appointment, and then they can do that right here. So these two features in both Boulevard and Meevo are very similar. And while I like the idea of this easy checkout, I don't like that you have to provide your own devices for that, especially if you have a lot of independent contractors. If you have a masseuse who works part-time at your facility and you have 3 stylists who rent chairs, all of 4 of them are going to have to bring their own devices to make this contactless thing a reality. Or you provide one device that everyone shares. Now, we do the one device that everyone shares with Boulevard, device that everyone shares with Boulevard, physically located it's put at the front desk. So when people check in for their appointment, and so when they check out, they have those same features available. When they check out, they have those same features available. Check out by adding a tip, adding a toner, booking their next appointment. Check out by adding a tip, adding a toner, booking their next appointment. Make their contactless payments ahead of time. They can make their contactless before they even get to their appointment online. Pay before they even get to their appointment online. And of course, they can fill out. So I like that extra form aspect to the physical front desk tablet that you get with the front desk tablet as compared to this chairside checkout. It's a nice idea, but it seems more gimmicky than anything else. And as I mentioned, they also have in the, we'll head on back here, the e-learning aspect. So e-learning is their training tool. So it looks like it's something extra, this fun feature that you get, but it gives you a little bit of information, not just on how to use Meevo, but on how to use things like marketing correctly. And that's all well and good. I do like that, but I will say that Boulevard has much more comprehensive support. Boulevard has much more comprehensive support. When you actually get dedicated people to help you with that, they span it out over several weeks. So the onboarding process isn't just a slew of PowerPoint presentations and online videos, and then you're done, but you don't really know how things work. They go a long way toward making sure that you know what you're doing, that you know how all of these things work, that you can process payments successfully, that you have everything connected where it needs to be and whatnot. So all of this information, you can work with an individual to find support when and where you need it. Now, that said, the costs are very similar. You might think that Boulevard is incredibly expensive, as it is known as one of the pricier options on the market. And for the aesthetics bundle, you are going to pay around $420 per month. But the premier level of Meevo with all of its solutions is going to cost $529 per month. And that's for all of this right here. That's for the 6 hours only of onboarding training. Seriously, Boulevard gives you like 15. So this is just absurd. That's what a silly amount of time. And then, of course, that's meant for HIPAA compliance, right? So you're going to pay more for that. The essentials, if you're growing and you only want 4 hours. See, that's another thing I don't like. Now that we're here, I'm not going to skip over that. That's very important. If you want to pick the light version here that saves you money, light is $169 per month. That's actually more expensive than the basic Boulevard Essentials package, which is $158 per month. Boulevard does not cheat you on your onboarding. This is going to look almost exactly the same, no matter if you have 1 employee, 5 employees, or 50 employees. The difference is some of your things might cost more. So for here, if I want to fill slow days, you see it's $2 per completed appointment, right? Okay, that's an extra fee, but that's because I don't have the most comprehensive package for Boulevard. But if I did, a lot more would be included. But they do not cheat you when it comes to your onboarding and your ability to use what you are paying for successfully. So I will say that I don't appreciate that the training changes based on how much you are willing to pay per month. So that said, basic plan for each, $158 for Boulevard, $169 per month from Meevo. When you move up to this Essentials tier here, this middle plan, you can expect to pay $299 per month. By comparison, the Boulevard Premier package, which is their next level up, is only $263 per month. So no matter the levels, all in, Boulevard is actually less expensive than what you would pay for Meevo. And Boulevard also gives you what I think are much better support structures and better overall products, layout, and ease of use.